My name is Eric Falquero, and I'm the editorial director of Street Sense Media. I was absolutely blown away this year to learn that the Dateline Awards contest judges had chosen my work for the Robert DGLewis Watchdog Award. There's a lot to say about what that means to me and to our organization, so I've prepared a few remarks. Leading Street Sense Media's newsroom, it has been my ever-present goal for us to be a watchdog regarding policies and systems that affect or serve people experiencing homelessness in our community. We enter the Dateline Awards nearly every year in the weekly newspaper division, but I never expected one of our stories to transcend all divisions and be chosen for the contest's top honor over something from a larger media outlet with more staff and more resources. We do a lot with a little, and I'm so grateful to the Society of Professional Journalists DC Pro Chapter for this recognition of that work. I keep saying our and we because everything in our newsroom is highly collaborative, and the story would not have been in the shape it is without help from others. Namely, our editorial intern at the time, Callan Tansel-Sedeth, our deputy editor at the time, Jake Marr, longtime Street Sense Media volunteer editor, Roberta Haber, who has worked for our organization longer than I have, and my wife, Kelsey, who reviewed many iterations of this story. For anyone else who sees value in the quality of our work that this award speaks to, if you do nothing else, please buy a Street Sense newspaper. Buy it regularly. The judges remarked that this story turned what could have been a sidebar to anyone else into a deeply reported and compelling story. But to be honest, that's what we do every week. And the women and men who sell our paper do so for personal income. Street Sense vendors are not collecting donations for our organization. They purchase their papers wholesale and sell them to you at a retail rate. So you're not only supporting important award-winning local journalism, you're sustaining the livelihood of someone taking the initiative to work for themselves when maybe they could not access that opportunity elsewhere. When it comes to the impact of this story, a number of readers commented at the time it ran that they were appalled that D, the man at the middle of all this, could bounce around in the legal system in the way that he did. It seemed to open a lot of people's eyes. But I think one of the most important parts of this story is highlighting the myriad pilot programs and other existing efforts to both train officers to respond to these situations and to create off-ramps from incarceration in the courts into mental health treatment and other supportive services. Because despite our story being able to identify those efforts, they are clearly not sufficient. D fell through the cracks, and he is not alone. Unfortunately, I think it is also important to acknowledge that this story did absolutely nothing to help D. It began with an arrest that I witnessed on June 20th, 2020, so it's been more than a year, and it left off with D in DC jail for over a month, awaiting a felony status conference in August, because his repeated misdemeanors stacked up. I tuned into that conference, and he was released through pretrial services to live with his girlfriend because the courts were so backed up during COVID and remote jury trials were not possible. But checking back on his case this morning, the expected February trial did not happen. He didn't report to pretrial services at some point, and he is being held with no bond, still awaiting trial. He's undergone multiple mental health competency screenings this year, and most recently requested a new lawyer. These systems need sustained attention and continued reporting. The last thing I'd like to say about this award is that it is accompanied by a $1,000 prize. Street Sense Media was a winner or finalist in all 7 categories of the Dateline Awards that we entered this year, and the majority of contributors recognized were unpaid interns who are clearly doing work at a professional level as recognized by these awards. While our program is strong and highly beneficial for its participants, the unpaid aspect limits who can participate. I intend to donate the full $1,000 prize to Street Sense Media explicitly to fund a needs-based internship stipend. But that amount won't get anyone very far in DC, so I'm hoping to use this as seed money to raise an additional $5,000, a total that will fund 3 $2,000 stipends, 1 per semester, to support this program for a full year. I have to wait until next month to find out if our board will approve this use of funds and fundraising, so at this time I'm just looking for pledges. Whether you can kick in $5 or $50, it would mean the world to me if you visit www.fundssminterns.com and give me your name, contact info, and intended donation amount. Again, that's www.fundssminterns.com. Many thanks to our readers, to you for investing in local news, and many thanks to SPJDC for this award and opportunity.